Hello, everybody. It's Emily here from Phoenix Gateway. How are we today? I'm well, thank you. Um, Normally, I would be sitting here doing a general weekly read, but I'm going to do things a little bit differently. And I actually want to talk about a specific solfeggio frequency. The reason being is because I had a really big aha moment yesterday. I had attended a seminar yesterday, and what I found that I really got out of it was how important it is to work with frequency. And I'm already doing this every single day, working specifically with color, working with my crystals, creating grids and the likes. But it was on a different level that I was looking at working with frequency. In my Sacred Geometry Healing cards, which I read from most weeks, I actually have a section on the solfeggio frequencies. I put them into this book because through my years of studying, what I found and what I probably understood the most myself, hence using the solfeggio frequencies, is how our bodies fully resonate with these frequencies. They align on such a beautiful level, and they assist us to optimize our own healing on mind, body, and soul. And you'll have to excuse my dog's barking, but also excuse, we've got a lot of mud happening in my garden right now, but when it's all finished, it's going to look amazing. So I'm just doing some work around the house, which is probably adding to a little bit of my, has added to a little bit to my stress, because I've got these two massive dogs that go in and out of my house with dirty feet, and I'm forever washing floors, just trying to keep things clean. Out here, not trying to not let them in as much as I can, out as much as I can, just for the next week or so, and then it should all be done. But for me personally, and I guess for me, I always believe it's nice to be able to talk about, something that you've experienced or are experiencing. And that way, other people can understand where you're coming from. And the last probably couple of months have been really, really, really full on in my home. And I know I'm exactly where I'm meant to be, on the fact that, I am the mother, I am the nurturer. I have brought up 4 adult children pretty much on my own. My husband, their father passed away back in 2004. And yes, I've had wonderful family help as well. So, don't get me wrong in that respect. But it's been something that I have done because I know it is where I need to be and where I'm meant to be. But I guess knowing that they're all adults now, I didn't expect to still be in the situation I'm in now. And it's really interesting because it doesn't matter what age your kids are, there's always something around that. It doesn't matter what it is, but there's always going to be something that's going to come to your attention, or that you're going to assist your kids with. And, it's also understanding that as parents, and maybe not everyone agrees, and that's okay, but, you always want to give your kids a chance. You want to help as much as you can while you can, whilst that inner gut sort of says to you, you know what, you've got to give it another go. You've got to give things another go. And so I always find myself back in that position as well. And these are my lessons. If I'm meant to learn something from it, I will. And I have. I've really learnt a shit ton over the last, 20 odd years in particular. I'm going to sneeze. Excuse me. And excuse me. That must be a release that needs to happen. Anyway, what I have found over the last probably couple of weeks is how I've really found myself inundated and having to keep going through certain healing aspects of myself. And, you know, really being aware of my thoughts, really being aware of my actions. And I'm only human, and as much as I know that, you know, what is supposedly right, wrong, or indifferent, doesn't always mean that, you know, we treat ourselves and nurture ourselves the way we truly need to do that. For some, it's really hard. And, you know, sometimes we also keep ourselves in a victim mentality. You know, I'll put my hand up to that. That comes down to the ego, and that's where we sit. And even though we're aware of what needs to be changed, you know, excuse my dog, change is one of the hardest things we have to put ourselves through. But change is also inevitable, and it is the only constant in life. So whether we like it or not, change is going to happen. But change can also be happening around you if you are that stubborn that you've got your heels stuck in and you are not budging. And what it's going to do is just make it harder and harder and harder for you to be able to move on to that next level. You want to be in flow, okay? You don't want to be in major chaos and upheaval and turbulence all the bloody time. And it's even harder because we're dealing with this absolute shit that's going on in our world. And most of who are watching this video, or all of you watching this video, are going to know and have an absolute awareness of what it is I am talking about, and know, you know, how at times it can be harder to truly separate yourself from what is going on, especially if you're empathic and you're picking up on everything. It always comes down to having to do the inner work. And it sounds, you know, it's like a broken record. You hear so many people talking about the inner work, the inner work, the inner work. Well, it's absolutely 150% true. And I don't know what really clicked yesterday, but I've gone, you know, I have created some of the most amazing products, from elixirs to my own sprays to my cards, to say the least. Oh, and of course, this amazing tour that's going ahead in October, but I'll talk about that at the end, to Egypt. And I'm like, what am I doing? I need to come back to me. I need to come back to center. What is it that I've already channeled? What is it that my higher self, my future self, has already given me? I have the tools to work with what is necessary. First thing I can tell you is I put my pink glasses back on a couple of weeks ago, sort of with an understanding of why I probably changed them, but it was more for the fact that I was always fall asleep with my green ones on, so I put my pink ones back on. But the colours I'm working with are green. I have probably every shade of green in my cupboard, in jumpers mainly. My boots are green. It's about reconnecting to who I am. It's reconnecting back to the earth. It's reconnecting back to my soul, that inner self, and getting back into that inner knowing, you know. Pardon the pun there. And what came to me very clearly yesterday is I need to start working with the 528 hertz. That is the most beautiful frequency that, in my books, one of the most beautiful frequencies to work with, you know, that we have been given. Okay? The 528 hertz. And I'm just going to read you a little excerpt from my book. Okay? So if you have my cards, you will have it. I also create, and I haven't brought them out, but I have just the set of 9 solfeggio with a little booklet that you can purchase from me. that you can actually draw the cards and you can work with a particular frequency for that day. Now, I put on last night the 528 hertz. I slept with it on all night. I've been listening to it all morning. I've had my kids listening to it. I wash my floors listening to it. And I just feel so much more inner peace. And when we start working with certain sound frequencies, it, as I said before, it allows, I'll just read it as I've written it, but one, to enhance the senses and create deeper connection to spirit, and to optimize the healing potential on all levels of self. Okay? Solfeggio frequency 528 hertz carries the sound mi, from the Latin mira gestorum, meaning miracle. Dr. Leonard Horowitz, through his book, The Book of 528, Prosperity, Key of Love, speaks in depth of the secrets and miracles of the 528 hertz. Horowitz says that music is the universal language, love is the universal healer, and water is the universal solvent. When you put all these together, you get the best kept secret. According to Dr. Horowitz, 528 hertz is a frequency that is central to the musical mathematic matrix of creation. Everything is connected from heaven to earth. It is said that these frequencies were used by high priests and priestesses to manifest miracles and produce blessings. Scientifically and through cymatics, it has been shown that the vibration of this frequency mimics the formation of the pine cone. In nature, the pine cone shows the exact expression of Fibonacci sequence. It's actually the 813, which is the mathematical coding within our entire universe. Okay, so then what I decided was, let me draw a few cards on this particular, on what I'm saying today, which I've done in the past when I've done a little spiel and then pulled them. Anyway, I realized that the actual card deck that I use all the time was in my car, and my daughter's taken my car. And I'm like, I'm going to have to find one of my old decks. And it just so happened that I had another one of this particular deck. And I got them out, and I honestly, I cannot tell you the last time I actually worked with these cards, because I've got my other ones. I just put them away. And the synchronicity of this whole reading spoke volumes. And, sometimes I wish I just was able to film something live, but you have to just trust me on this when I tell you that the first three cards that were actually on top of the deck were these. Oh, hang on, I've just dropped one. Okay. The first one was the 528. I kid you not. The second one was the 639, which is all about working with our relationships with self and then with others. And the flower of life. Okay. This, which is remarkable as well, because there was actually a crop circle that popped up, not just recently, and it was that of the flower of life. The flower of life is the blueprint of all creation. In this deck, it is the cocoon stage, and the cocoon stage is because you have these two outer concentric circles that you see on this deck, on this flower. And if you were to remove these two circles, you will receive all the answers of life. Okay, this was highly revered, this particular shape. So what it is saying is, you don't necessarily know all the answers of what life holds for us right now. I certainly don't. I certainly don't know in terms of myself. I don't know what's going to happen on, as above, so below, on a greater level. What I can manifest, what I can change my mindset on, and this is what is so important, is that understanding, in particular about working with the 528, is that we can change, or we need to change mindset. We're here to change our mindset, because when we change our mindset, we're actually putting out there a totally different frequency than what we may be thinking if we're on more a negative tangent. And these cards, as I said, I kid you not, they are the three that were at the top of the deck. I didn't even pull them. I just opened it up and they were sitting there. They were actually upside down. And I thought to myself, I bet you this first card's going to be the 528. And it absolutely was. So I know I'm on track doing this reading. I know I'm on track being able to express the importance of working with frequency, the importance of working with these solfeggio frequencies that actually, work on a cellular level, and they are actually used. I think it's I always say the wrong word. I think biogeneticists to actually heal our DNA. Okay, it's actually used to heal DNA. So by listening to this frequency, you are doing every aspect of your body an absolute favor. It is going to love, love, love you forever. And knowing this, miracles come about, transformation comes about. It is miracles and transformation. It is such a positive card. Okay? And I'm just going to read this last bit again before I end this for the week. I might do another reading during the week. We'll see what happens. But what I want to say is this, and this is so important. Horowitz says that music is the universal language. Love is the universal healer. And water is the universal solvent. When you put all these together, you get the best kept secret. We came here for a reason. Okay, we contracted ourselves to come to Earth in this meat body, in this avatar, whatever you want to call it, to learn. And that is exactly what we're here to do. And what we're here to learn is love. Love on all levels. We have been tested and tested and tested time and time again. We need to band together. We need to unite. This is what we're here to do. We're here to work with the frequency of love. The 528 frequency, I highly, highly recommend listening to it. I ingest it. I've created it as an elixir. And I also have my love spray. And I do it for you too. Okay? Absolutely beautiful. Before I go, just want to put out here the Seeds of Khemit, Reconnecting to the Primordial Waters, is this amazing tour taking place on the 9th to the 23rd of October of this year. I am doing it in conjunction with Yousef and I. If you'd like to know more about this tour, please go on to www.seedofthesoul.com/tours. All of this information will be in the blurb that is with this particular reading. Have an absolutely beautiful week wherever you are. Nurture yourself, love yourself, okay? And I'll speak to you very soon. Bye for now.